Good evening, folks. Good evening. This is Alex Gordon, your host on the Message Talk Show. I was about to say coming to you live on Thursday morning, but it's not Thursday morning. It is Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock, British Standard Time. And we're coming to you live from London. Guys, it's been an amazing day. It's been an amazing week. And I have an amazing guest on the show today. This person is going to blow your mind. She's going to blow your mind this evening. You know what? She's on fire already. Let's just say hi. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Thanks for having me on, Alex.
Hey, you know what? From the minute you started talking, I know, wow, this is a word. This is a word in season, you know? You know, one of the things you said this week that we listen to too many different people. We listen to too many different coaches, and we become confused with the information that we're holding. And it causes us to freeze. We don't do anything with the information because there's so much coming at us. So you got to choose one or two and hang in there for the ride. So that's why this evening we've got Coach Dallas Gordon on the Message Talk Show, and she'll be talking tonight about how to drive your business forward, how to drive your business marketing, the biggest asset that you have. What is the biggest asset that you think you have? What do you think is the biggest asset? You are the biggest asset that you have, that you're going to make your business work. And that's what we'll be talking about tonight. But before we do that, let me just introduce you. Let me just welcome you to the Message Talk Show and welcome you again and say, call your friends. Call your worst enemies. Yes, get on that phone right now. Get on that phone, call them, get them on the show. You know what? Stop watching television. Nobody watches TV anymore. Yeah? Call them and press that subscribe button to get a reminder for the next show. Press the subscribe button. Okay, guys? Just do that for me. All right? So we're in some troubled times. All around the world, there are challenging situations that we're facing. Challenging situations we're facing in the pandemic. Now, I don't know what it's like in the States, Coach Dallas. I don't know what it's like. What is it like in America when it comes to the pandemic?
Yeah, it's rough. Getting worse by the day. Yep.
Wow. It's rough. But you know what? A guest said to me the other day, Alex, no matter what happens, we will always have challenges. We will always be facing challenges. And the question is, what do you do during those challenging times? What do you do during those challenging times? What will you remember 5 years from now when you remember about the pandemic? What were you doing and what have you done with that time? And that's so important, to focus our minds on getting something done and channeling our minds. And that's why we're talking today about how to drive your business, marketing yourself. So guys, I want you to get a notepad, get a pen, because you're going to take some notes. And with this lady, the words come firing at 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. So you're going to have to write quickly. And if you don't catch everything, get the replay, all right? The replay will be there for you to listen to, but hey, you need to get this information firsthand, all right? So, Coach Dallas Gordon, it's a pleasure having you this evening and talking about driving yourself forward. And I've listened to some of your videos and some of your tapes, and you have quite a story there about how you stepped into your own business on a full-time basis. What caused you to transition from 9 to 5?
What I can say, I have had the entrepreneurial spirit since childhood. So I've always had the desire to own my own, to call my own shots, and partially the fault of my parents, because that was the example that they set before me. So I pretty much started working 9 to 5. I was a payroll manager for some years, and I climbed the ladder with that very quickly. And over time, I just realized that my dream had not died, that I was doing something that I truly didn't want to do. So that was kind of what got me started in that area.
But you see, it's very easy sometimes to say, you know, we start something and we do something, and we try this and we try that, and we'll hop out of several things. When do you know that you know that you know that you know what you're doing is what you should be doing? When does that arrive? When does that moment arrive?
Well, it's different for everybody when that moment arrives. For me, I just especially with teaching and speaking to people and helping people and coaching people, it's something that I have been doing from childhood, from young. So many times when you return to those things that you've naturally been doing since childhood, and you feel happy and at peace and fulfilled when you do it, that's when you know. But it comes differently for some people, because some people don't start as a childhood. Maybe some people start when they get older. So that's how it happened for me, but I know it's different for everybody.
But it's great doing some things, feeling happy, but it ain't making you no money. Ain't making you no money. And if it ain't making, if it's not putting food on the table, then hey, you still haven't got, you still haven't got that ideal situation where your dreams paying your bills.
That's true. In that case, you just have to find some ways to monetize what makes you happy. That's another skill. So that's a whole way.
Find a way to monetize what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I know when you transition from 9 to 5, or when you transition out of that arena into working for yourself, one of the biggest hindrances that people tend to suffer from is that thing about selling.
Mm-hmm.
Selling. I've got to sell. And people have in their minds most times the whole idea about selling, the door-to-door salesman at the front door that they used to come across themselves.
Right.
And they knock, the door-to-door salesman knocks the door, and they look through the window and see it's a double glazing man, and they don't open the door. Yeah? Or they know it's the Avon lady and they don't open the door. How can people transition and develop that skill of selling?
Well, I think that everybody, well, not everybody, but most people, like you said, Alice, the average person comes into business with the mindset that selling is disgusting. Selling is getting in the way. Selling is stepping on toes. Selling is bothering people who don't want to be bothering. But I think that the real shift comes when you realize that selling is serving. Okay? Selling is serving. Selling is when you give someone something that can help to change their lives or their experience in life. And if they hadn't found out about you and your product and service, that person could be drowning, in where they are. They could be drowning, right? They could be overcome by that problem. So if you put service and make that the priority of serving people and helping people to get where they need to go, then it becomes not such a disgusting thing. But then it becomes a purposeful thing.
But true, but you have to believe you have to really believe you got something that can change people's lives. You have to believe that. And sometimes people are not too sure about that.
Yeah, but if you think about it, even if you think about some of the products that we use on a daily basis, everyday products, I want you guys to imagine life without some of those things that you use. Try imagining life without a fork. Try imagining life without soap. Try imagining life without paper towels, okay? Try imagining life without socks and different things that you use on a daily basis that you take for granted. But imagine life without those things. Those things are actually helping you to experience life on another level. And with ease, like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat with my hands. Get my hands dirty. I love the luxury of, and I know we don't consider that a luxury, but I love having a fork that somebody created at some point that is a product. I love to be able to dry my hands with those paper towels. I love that laundry detergent that I'm washing my clothes with on a daily basis. I love that smell of clean clothes. That's changing my life. That's improving my quality of life. So I think the problem is that we just think we're selling, but we don't realize that we're actually being the solution to something. And most people that I talk to who have a product or have an idea on the inside of them, that product is a solution to some problem. It's just our perspective. We're not looking at it that way. But when you turn that light on and you start to look at it that way, you're no longer bothering people. You're no longer getting in people's way, because if you have something that can change how they experience life, then they need to buy what you have to offer. So it's just a perspective change.
Wow.
That's all.
Offer something that helps them experience life. Most people's experiences are different. Yeah. Most people have different backgrounds. They come from, different settings. And then now you have a product that you're going to push out there, and you're going to have to be able to adapt it to every client that walk. Well,
No.
who are you adapting it for? Who are you adapting it for?
And that's the beautiful thing about it is that you're right, Alex. We all do come from different backgrounds, and we have different desires and different expectations and different needs. And that's a beautiful thing about having such an amazing planet full of so many different, colorful, beautiful types of people, is that no, not every single person that you cast your net out there to get has to come into your net. It's the same thing like fishing. When you go fishing, you get your rod, and I always use this example, but I'm not a fisher. Okay, but I use this example. You get your rod, you get your fish, your bucket, your boots, and you're ready to go fishing, right? You got your bait, right? And you're going to cast it out there into the river, lake, wherever you're fishing. You don't just bring any old kind. So you're not going to bring the same bait that you would use to go crabbing, right? That you would to catch lake trout or whiting or some other fish, right? You're going to come to the job prepared, right? To fill your net or your basket with whichever type of fish you're going for. And it's the same way with your business. You're just not casting your net so that anybody who will hear me will come into it. You have that thing called an ideal client. So I think some people move into business and they move in, or they don't move into business out of fear, because then I've been there where who will want this? Who will want what I want? But there's a perfect tribe out there for your product.
That's true. There's a perfect client out there for you, but until you understand that yourself, until you get that in your psyche, you're looking at, I've got to sell this to everybody. Everybody who has caught my way, I've got to try and sell this because I've got to make a living from this. So how do you then tailor it for that ideal client? When do you realize that this matches that audience?
Well, that's all where I come in, Alex. Okay, to educate people and to help people understand what it is to do research, to find everything about that tribe that's out there, tailor-made for your product. That's where I come in. You have to do that audience research by asking questions, by studying some of the larger competitors in your industry to see what it is that their clients and customers are into. You have to do some social listening. You have to do some work, roll up your sleeves and do some work. Okay. And I can promise you that doing that work will set you up for big profits. Right. So you don't come into it just knowing. You have to go out of your way to learn your client or your customer, who they are, where are they, what floats their boat, what excites them. You have to really get on the inside of the mind of that client.
That's probably the key, because you just said it. You don't come in just knowing. You don't come in just knowing. And people get confused sometimes that they think they have to know straight away. I have to know because this is my business. You have to go and learn.
Right.
So how do you then? Now you said do some research, right? So most people are challenged when it comes to, information is out there everywhere. There's information everywhere. There's an overload of information everywhere, but most people are still overwhelmed about where do I go to then research and find out what I'm supposed to find out. Where do they go?
There is someone out there that has an expertise in anything that you want to know. So if you want quick answers, you can find a coach, or a program that can help you in that specific area, right? Like I can help you when it comes to marketing. I can help you when it comes to brand messaging. I can help you when it comes to selling. So I'm more like a marketing and sales coach to help you position yourself online so that you can attract your ideal clients. But there are other coaches that do other things.
Wow. That key statement you made, attract, not chase, not chase, not hunt. Attract. It's like you're like a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
When does that magnetism happen? Is there a stage to that magnetism? Is it straight away? Is it a year, 2 years? When does that magnetism happen to attract the right clients?
It's different for everybody. It's all about getting clarity, with yourself first. So what I always say is that you can't expect for other people to know you before you know them. So you have to know who they are first and call them by name. Okay. And when you do that, then they can come and be attracted to you. So I would say you would need to get clarity within yourself first. it's clarity, it's a mindset, it's all of these things, and everybody's journey is different. So, so it's really hard to say that it's the same for every single person, because it's not. I wish I could
Wow.
give the answer, but it's not. It's some things involved with getting there, and it happens differently from everybody. But the one foundation is that clarity, getting clear with yourself. You know, Alex, I talk with clients all the time over the phone who talk to me and say that I'm posting, I'm everywhere all the time, I'm doing all of the things, I'm running ads, I'm going live, I'm scheduling my posts, and it seems like nobody out there hears me. Right? And I can
Yeah.
relate to that because I've been there. I've been
Yeah.
there. And I was thinking to myself, wow, do I look too young? People don't believe that I know my stuff. Like, what is it? But when you really take a closer look with these clients and you really have deeper conversations, you learn that they're not quite clear on themselves.
Wow.
They have some uncertainties on their own messaging. They have some gaps in their belief system. Like you said, a lot of people that come in really don't believe they are the solution. So they have this product, but they really haven't made the connection yet, right?
Wow.
Between this product and how it's really going to change the lives of their clients. So most of the time it's mindset and lack of clarity. That's why people are not able to attract clients on the level that they want to.
Wow. Lack of clarity. Hey guys, I don't know where you're joining from this evening, but I have in the house the Message Talk Show international business mentor and marketing expert, Coach Dallas Gordon, talking to us about getting clarity in yourself, getting clarity about who you're speaking to, who you're trying to attract. It is so important just to get that sense of clarity, get your mind tuned in, because it's only when you get the clarity you can attract. Sometimes we hunt things down and we chase things and we scare people away. We scare people away. But one of the things I've heard you talk about in one of your broadcasts is about faith. How does faith come into your business? How does faith help you navigate? How does faith help you make the decisions that you need to make? How does faith tune in?
Faith is darn everything. Faith is darn everything. I mean, without faith in the belief in myself and without faith and belief in who I serve, okay, whoever that may be for you, but for me, it's God, okay? Without that foundation, I don't really know where I would be, because entrepreneurship is darn challenging. And I know that you guys watching can relate, okay? It can be challenging when you work for someone else and you're on your 9-to-5 job. You know, a lot of things are provided for you. You don't have to make certain decisions. You don't necessarily have to answer to yourself. You have someone else setting the agenda and saying, this is where you fall in today.
Wow.
Okay.
You know what? I just need to acknowledge these people coming in. They said, this is good conversation. Hey, your crowd's coming in. This is good conversation. Intuitive said, this is good. Wow. Wow. Very practical advice. There are no shortcuts. You have to put in the work. That sometimes is the hardest thing to come to terms with. You have to put in the work in the beginning. You have to put in the work, sweat and toil. Now, what was putting in the work look like for you, Coach Dallas Gordon?
Well,
What did it look like?
Putting in the work for me has shifted. Okay, so for whoever's ready for this conversation, buckle your seatbelts. Okay, so putting in the work has looked very different for me. Towards the beginning, putting in the work looked like being up all night. Okay, being stressed, having circles around my eyes because I'm tired, because I've been working, because I've been on the grind, because I've been on the hustle. And I know y'all have heard all of those words. And I really did use, I would say, more so like my masculine energy or my strong energy to get everything done. It was like if I wanted something, I was going to make it happen. I was going to push and make it happen. But as I have grown in my business over time, spiritually, so I have learned to slow it down physically, okay, with the mental, the ego aspect of getting things done, and learning to slow down physically and speed up spiritually. I'm getting things done a lot different now, Alex, okay?
Wow.
So it is less physical work, but it is more stillness, conversations with God, quietness and listening, who is the ultimate teacher of all teachers, okay, who is going to lead and guide my every step. And when I'm doing business with that kind of coach on my side, Alex, now that's how you really cut out that work. Okay. That used to
Wow.
have me up all night and have me hustling and have me grinding. Now, I'm not saying there aren't days that I don't pull long hours and might have a project that I need to get done, or I may have orders that need to be shipped, or, crunch time. I'm not saying that that never happens, but it's not the same feeling as it used to be when I used to be in that hustle, make it happen mindset. So now when I show up and I take 5 steps, I can rely on spirit to take the other 5. And that's where becoming a spiritual business owner really, really, really
Now,
comes from.
stop there. When you show up and take 5 steps, something happens that the other 5 steps are taken by your spiritual being, by your faith. It happens.
Absolutely.
There's a guiding force.
Something else happens.
Something else happens.
Right.
Wow. But you have to put in the work in the beginning.
Absolutely. You have to. There's no shortcuts.
Can you said this? You said if you have to stay up all night, you stay up all night to get the work done.
I mean, there may be some all-nighters. You don't have to do it all the time. Okay. But there may be some all-nighters. And I'm going to be honest. If I had the understanding of who I am when I first started that I have now, I may have avoided some restless nights. I may have avoided some wasted money in coaching programs with coaches that weren't aligned to me. I may have saved myself some time and some missteps if I had the ultimate coach that I was really leaning into and listening into versus trying to manhandle everything and do everything myself. I may be in a different place, but what it shoulda, coulda is what they say. I can't go back to the past. All I can do, right, is enjoy where I am now and continue to grow.
If I understood who I am, if I understood who I am, Coach Dallas Gordon said, if she understood who she was, if she understood the person she was becoming, that would make such a big difference in her beginnings, in the middle, or where she is right now. So guys, whether you're listening to right now for around the world on the Message Talk Show with Coach Dallas Gordon, get to know who you are. Get to know yourself. And how do you get to know yourself? That's frightening.
It is frightening. And I used to be afraid. And I think a lot of us are afraid to have quiet time. And that's why we constantly surround ourselves with noise and people, but getting to know yourself is just that quiet, still time. Okay. You won't always phone a friend all the time, every day, that same time, every day. Sometimes you take a step back from all of that and learn to have some quiet time. Getting to know yourself is leaning in. Does this make me feel good when I do this? How do I feel when I take these actions? Okay. Well, now I know that when I take these actions, it makes me stressed. But I know that when I act over here, now that's my superpower. So let me operate more in this lane versus that lane. And you're not going to get to know yourself when it's just too noisy all the time.
Hey, before I go to the next question, I need to ask you that question. How do I find my superpower? Let me go to our sponsor for 2 seconds.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and podcast with host Alex Gordon.
So how do I find that superpower, man? Because if I have a superpower, it means that my physical work gets less. That's what you said. My physical work gets less and my spiritual work gets more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do I find that superpower? Because I want to market my business. I want to market myself. That's what people are saying. But how do I find that superpower in me?
Well, we're all born with it.
Hey,
we're all born. You ever hate Alex?
There's hope for me. There's hope for me, Coach Dallas Gordon.
Have you ever watched those superhero movies when the superheroes are actually born with the power that they have, but some of them are not aware of how to use those abilities until they start getting older? Maybe their parents or somebody around them try to kind of keep it at bay, or whatever you want to call it, so that when they get older, it doesn't become a disaster. But then as that child grows, they start to notice that they're different from the other kids, right? And then they start to work certain muscles and learn themselves. That theme is in so many superhero movies. Well, that's just us as well. We were born with our superpowers. So the more time that we start spending with ourselves, and the more that we give ourselves like little tasks to do that are outside of our comfort zone, and we start to show up for those tasks, that's when our superpowers start to come to light. Right. But you got to be still. You got to start to spend time with yourself. And you also have to put yourself in situations to be able to exercise those muscles that you're uncomfortable with. Like there was a time that I told everybody around me that I would never get on video. And I dare you to go to maybe my old Facebook profile or something, or my YouTube channel, and really go back to the old video and see the Dallas Gordon from then, and then look at the Dallas Gordon from now. You can really see how I have really come out of my shell. And you know what? In the future, 5 years from now, I project I'll probably be singing and everything on live video, because I will really be fully out of my shell, even more than now. Even more than now. So what happens is you start to show up, you start to do that thing and get on the other side of that discomfort. Okay. And then those superpowers start to become illuminated. Wow. They start to light up. Right. And that's how you find out what you're working with. When you start working stuff that you know you need to work. Because like I said, you're born with it. So that small voice that you hear, or that nudging that you hear on the inside of you that won't leave you alone, those thoughts that you say, you know what, I know I really should do that, but no. Wow. I'm not going to do that. That makes me too uncomfortable. But that thought keeps coming back to you. You know, I really should do that. And I just keep feeling like I should, but I keep fighting that down. That thing you don't want to do is most likely your superpower.
Wow. Coach Dallas Gordon just said that there was a time in her life when she said she would never do a live video. Now, for those of you out there right now who are not doing live videos, and you're nervous about doing videos, and you think you can't do it, Coach Dallas Gordon said at one time in her life, she never thought she'd do a live video. And look at her now. Amazing.
No videos. None. None. I wasn't going to be on camera at all. I was like, that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not comfortable with that. I had a coach to tell me I needed to, and I fought him hand and foot about it, because I didn't feel like I should have to build my business. It wasn't about having to do that. It's that I had a gift that needed to expand past my limitations.
Hey.
You know, so many of us do. It's not about what we want to do and what we don't want to do. It's not about, you know, what makes us uncomfortable and what makes us comfortable. What it is about is that when you are given a gift, you can't decide who gets it and who doesn't. Everybody deserves to see it. Now, whether or not they accept it or not, that's their business. Okay. But when you're given something special that can heal humanity, it's not up to you to just be selfish with that gift. You got to let it shine. So basically, what I'm saying is it's more about us, right?
When you're given a gift, something special that can heal humanity, you've got to share it.
Yeah. You got to share it. You have a duty to share that gift. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's your duty.
That is amazing. You've got to share that gift. So the superpower is making you uncomfortable right now. You feel uncomfortable when there's this gift that you've got, and you're feeling uncomfortable. You're not sure what to do with it, but you've got to learn how to use it. So
absolutely.
Who do you go to help you to use it?
Hey, there are different people that are planted all around you. All you got to do is look around and reach out for help. There are people that can help you to do different things. I mean, I have a circle of different coaches in my life as a coach for different things. And I know that I need help with the things the tools that I need, you know, to have to pull out when I need them. Okay. Because that's basically all coaches and mentors and people that are in the world to guide you. They have tools that they can give you to be able to pull out to help you to effectively use your superpower. That's it. right?
Wow.
They're giving you different tools. Like I have a coach that is a mindset coach. She's all about law of attraction. She's all about mindset. She's all about meditation. I have that type of coach. I have a coach for PR, for media, that type of coach. There are people who are skilled, experts that can help you with every different type of thing that you need. We aren't in this alone. We're in this together. Just like you all have something, whether it's a product, whether it's a message in you that is going to be the bridge for somebody else who needs what you have. And that's how important this is. That's how important it is to not see your business as just something that you sell, but to see it as your duty to show up and serve, because there's somebody out there that has a missing piece. There's a missing piece from their life, and you are that piece. You are that piece. That's something that needs to be taken very, very, very seriously. It's mandatory that you show up.
It's mandatory that you show up. So you are the missing piece to someone's life. So the reason why you're struggling with your marketing is because you don't realize the superpower you have inside of you. You don't realize that you're the missing piece to someone's life. And so you keep casting the net to everybody. You're trying to sell to everybody, and you're not selling to the 1 or 2 people that you're supposed to sell to. You're supposed to help. You use the word help. That's cool. Use the word help. That's amazing. Now, if faith shows up, I find my superpower and I'm stepping into my zone, I'm walking in my zone, I'm building, I'm getting people around me to help me, because as you said, I'm not in this on my own. What kind of strategies can I use then to help me scale what I'm doing?
Alex, there are so many strategies. I mean, what do I say?
Give me three. Just share 3. Don't want to do it. We'll be here all night if you did a dozen.
Right.
Just 3.
I mean, there are so many. I mean, of course, social media, posting is probably the most popular strategy that the average person does, because I mean, it doesn't take you out of your comfort level so much, because it's simply a post. But what I will say to you guys is that it's how you post. Okay. It's how you post. You want to remember that the people that are following you are looking through a window, okay, at your business. They don't know whether or not they want to come in or not. Okay. And you know how you visit a restaurant that maybe you're out, and maybe there are several restaurants and you're not really sure which one you want to eat at, but you want to eat at the right one. So you're just kind of looking through the window. You're just kind of checking things out. You're just kind of reading the menu. You want to keep in mind that that's sort of like how other people are viewing your business. So when you start to post on social media, you want to post in such a way that somebody can read that post and say, oh, wow, those words that he or she just wrote really hit home for me. And I know that this is for me, and she may possibly have the solution to my problem. So every single time that you write a social media post, and you know what, Alex, I actually had read a book, and I think it was called it was something like Click Buy or something. It was like an email marketing book that a friend told me about. And one of the things that really stood out to me, one of the suggestions that the author of the book had suggested, was that you take a picture, whether it's a cutout from a magazine or actually one of your actual clients, and you take it and you paste it up on your computer screen. And every time you craft that email, that copy for that email, or every time you create that social media post, you take a look over at that person's picture, and you keep your client at the heart and the center of every single thing that you have to say. Okay. So every single
you need to repeat that one. That one is special. You need to repeat that one. That one is special. That one is special.
So
repeat that one.
Every single time that you write any copy, any emails, any social media post, you want to look over at that ideal client, and you want to keep that client at the heart, at the center of every piece of content that you put out on the internet. And when you do that, when you write more content for them, versus being just you focused, because we're in the entrepreneur community is so me. Look at what I've done lately. Look at what I've achieved lately. Look at my houses. Look at my cars. Look at my results. And there's a place for that, but not all the time. And I find that when you do that too much, that you may just repel your audience because they're looking at your post like, okay, well, where do I fit into that scenario? I see what you have, but how can you help me?
Wow.
What's in it for me? So people are always looking for what's in it for me. People are very, very self-centered people, and they want to know, why should I follow you? Why should I give you a try when you're not telling me how you can help me? You're not keeping me at the center of your content. Every time I read your post, it's about you. So I think that that's one powerful way that we can, number one, position ourselves with the post. And number two, the power of video, hands down. If you are serious about selling in your market and in this market and in your particular industry, if you are serious about selling your butt off in 2020 going into 2021, you have got to get onto the video train. If you are too afraid to hit the go live button, start with pre-recorded videos. If you're on Instagram, start with IGTV. If you're on YouTube, start with pre-recorded video. But video is, I can't even say it's the wave of the future. It is now. Video is now. Video is always going to take priority over the standard content. Always. You know why? Because it is the fastest possible way for you to build trust in the digital space. People don't want to do, like for instance, when people follow me on social media, and I'm one of those people that everybody that follows me, I'm going to look at their profile and see whether or not I want to follow back. Every single person that I see following me, I'm going to look at their profile. If I'm seeing a bunch of random images and I'm seeing not a single picture or video of the person behind the brand, I'm simply not following the brand. That's boring for me. I want to know that you're a real person behind the brand. I want to know that real people are behind the brand. So you want to keep that in mind. Now, if you want to take years for people to trust you, and I know that it works for some people not showing themselves, but if you really want to take over in your industry, you're going to need to start looking at your audience, letting them see your eyes, letting them see your smile, letting them feel and sense your warm spirit, that there's actually a heart behind the brand. And I know that you think that people won't accept you, but you'd be surprised. People just want to see you. So that
people
would be
just want to see you. People just want to see you. They want to see your face.
Yes. They want to see that you exist. It's not enough to have pretty images and you're nowhere to be found. People want to know the woman or man who is behind the brand, especially if you are a small digital business. It's very, very important to show who you are. Don't be ashamed. Show who you are. There's a perfect tribe just for you. So that's the second thing that I would say. The third thing that I would say is consistency. Okay, is that no matter what you do, you are never going to be able to outrun someone who is consistent, someone who shows up like it is their job. And it amazes me how many people I talk with, and they talk to me because they're stuck in business. So they're like, hey, Coach G, I'm stuck in my business. Nobody's buying from me. You know, I do this and I do that, but nobody budgets. So I said, okay, how many hours a week are you putting into your business? How many hours a week are you working on your business? And when I hear 1 to 2 hours, but when you were on your 9 to 5, you worked 8 hours a day and sometimes 7 days a week, I almost want to hang up the phone. Because I'm not sure why people think that when you have your own company, you're going to work way less than you did when you were on your 9 to 5. This is your own. If you can't show up for you and be serious about showing up for building your own and really show up to be self-made, you got to go back to work. That's what I would say. Go back, do yourself a favor and go back. You are not made for this. And I guarantee you the CEO that built the company that you were working for didn't build that company working 1 hour or 30 minutes a week.
Wow.
They might do it now. They might be at the beach now after they've outsourced different tasks and they've built the business, but you are not going to get started with that kind of mindset. So that would be my third tip.
So people sometimes see the successes of other people and they want the success that those people have worked hard to achieve those success, and they want it in the beginning in their life, in their business. And they haven't put in the hours. They haven't put in the time. They haven't put in the work to get there.
Right. Absolutely.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Coach Dallas Gordon says you have to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to show up consistently, and you have to put in the hours. Don't think you can work 1 or 2 hours a week and get results. And it's amazing that people think that way. They think there's a fast way to get success. And sometimes the gurus out there don't make it any easier, because they sell you this dream that, hey, 1 to 2 hours a week and you made it. But it's not true.
They tell you that might be where they are now, but they're forgetting about those first steps. I mean, Alex, there are days, to keep it 100% real, I'm literally dragging myself out of bed and saying, let's go. I'm talking to myself like, we're going to get down here and we're going to get started. Get up. Okay. There are self-talk days just like that, because you literally have to kick your own self when you're self-owned. You don't have anybody else around that you're answering to.
Hey, you got to kick your own butt. You got to kick your own butt to get out of bed to do some work.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, listen, Dallas, this is enough. We're getting up now. We're getting these dumbbells. We're getting this workout in, and we're getting to work. And I literally have to talk to myself like that some days, because I physically, as a person, don't always want to do it.
Wow.
I might hear that, folks? Yeah, I might be
that, folks. That's amazing. You have to talk to yourself because you don't feel like doing it sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because people are looking at you right now and seeing you everywhere, seeing you busy, you're smiling, you look as though, wow, you're on cloud 9 all the time. But there are times in your life when you don't feel like doing it.
Right.
But you have to.
But you got to. You got to show up.
You got to show up.
You have to take your business from being optional to mandatory. Okay, it's got to go from an optional thing that I do to success is my darn duty. And it's not just my duty for me, it's my duty for all of those people who are watching me, who are watching and waiting for me to succeed, so that it can give them the faith and belief in themselves so that they can take the leap. And then when they take the leap, their kids take the leap. And then when their kids take the leap, their kids take the leap. And then it just keeps going down from generation to generation to generation. So I just want you guys to know that when you get out of bed in the morning and you go for your dreams, it is not about just you. It's your duty to do it. Because when you do it and you give to the world in that way, you have no idea just how many doors of opportunity you're opening for the generations to come. This is a serious thing that we're doing here.
Success is a duty. It's an obligation. You are the missing link. You cause a chain reaction through generations when you show up consistently.
Right.
Wow. Do you realize that you're talking to some people out there right now, and they're thinking about the amount of time they spend in their business, and they're thinking about their commitment. And because they haven't had much success, they're thinking of pulling back. But you're telling them that it's their obligation, because they're causing a chain reaction when they show up consistently.
Yep. Wow. And I want you guys to understand that I'm probably what the world would consider an introvert. I do not charge up by being in front of people. I charge up from being alone. Okay. And so I'm not really this bright butterfly who wants to be live and wants to be talking to people. But guys, success is my duty. I understand that when you are given a gift to give to the world, it is not up to me to conceal that, to be shy, and to hold that. I realize that it's beyond me. That this gift, your business is your ministry. It is your service. It is beyond you. And when you realize that, you'll start to show up, and you will stop counting likes, comments, and numbers. And you will start to show up and do what you need to do, and do it consistently. Because eventually it's going to pay off. Even though you may not see it right now, down the line, you're going to see it. And it's going to be very fulfilling to see all the people who are changing the course of their entire generation. They're leaving legacies, all because you chose to get out of bed that morning and speak and write that email and sell that product. Because you got over yourself, they're able to get over generational curses and break death off of their lives. And they're being able to travel and create opportunities for their children because you got over yourself today. So I just want you to see how important that is when you do that.
Wow. Wow. I tell you, man, you said you're an introvert.
Yes. You know, anyone in my family, I'm not, you know, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'm the life of the party. Other times I'm the quietest mouse in the room. It just depends on the energy I read in the room.
Wow.
Right. So if I can get over myself and I can show up and I can speak and I can come out of my shell and realize it's important for me to do so because it's not just about me. It's not just about me. And that's what I'm talking about, Alex, when I say that's why I'm out of my shell, because I move more so spiritually versus physically. So I realize I'm not alone when I show up. So I don't need to be shy. Because it's not just based on all the abilities I was born with. It's based on something that's outside of me. And when you can tap into that, you can do anything. That's where your faith comes into play. Realizing that when I show up, it's not just about me and my abilities. Anywhere that you are weak, spirit makes you strong. In any areas that you are lacking, spirit is more than enough. Okay, so that way you can show up into your business with power, even when you're tired, even when you feel introverted, even when you feel like you failed. You can still show up and win, okay, when you operate outside of yourself. So that's why that is all so important to tap into.
When you operate outside of yourself, you begin to show up in your superpower. Not because of who you are and what you are, but because of the person you're becoming. Wow.
Absolutely.
I just need a moment just to digest what you just said. I need a moment just to take it in. Guys, I don't know where you're listening from to the Message Talk Show tonight. And we're speaking to Coach Dallas Gordon. And she's saying that you have to show up consistently because other people's lives depend on it. And when you don't show up consistently and when you don't commit to showing up, you're playing with people's future. You're playing with people's future. You're playing with people's destiny. You're playing with someone's life. Generations out there are waiting for you to show up.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Coach Dallas Gordon, this is amazing, man. Wow, I tell you, you blew my head this week and you're blowing it again. Because sometimes we just need that sharpener in our heads to realize what we carry in this world. What we're carrying. Sometimes there's a lack of understanding about what we're carrying, what we have to offer, what we have to give. And you said it this week, we keep comparing ourselves to other people. And because we're not like other people, we pull back because I'm not like Tony Robbins, so I can't be. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
I can't be because I'm not like someone else. But what if I become myself? What if I become myself? Guys, what if you became yourself? They won't be talking about Tony Robbins anymore. They won't be talking about TD Jakes anymore. They'll be talking about you. You guys, they'll be talking about you because of you showing up in your life. You showing up in this season. You showing up right now, doing what you came to do. Coach Dallas Gordon, it's been a pleasure having you on this show today, man. We got to do a part 2. There is no way we can't do a part 2, man. This just is amazing.
Thanks for having me, Alex. I really appreciate it. It's such an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Wow. Now, in our final moments, and you're talking to 7 million people out there. You're talking to 7 million people. My audience is 7 million people. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
7 million people out there. What is it you want to say to them at this moment in time?
Just that whatever it is that you want to do or whatever you want to step out there into, just step out there into it. Okay? Just step out there into it. The universe has been created to catch you when you fall. Okay? So it's okay if you don't do it perfectly or you don't listen, y'all. Okay? Sometimes I use the wrong words. I stumble over my words. I do all of those things. I do all of the mess ups. but you are safe. You are completely safe to be your authentic self, flow in your gift, do that thing that you know you need to do, but you've been fighting it down. Go ahead and step out into it because the universe is right there to catch you. Go for it. On the other side of fear is your blessing. It's your blessing.
On the other side of fear is your blessing. Go for it. Let me just share few comments that come in again. Oh, this is a whole word. This is a whole word. Preach. I guess it's time to book a photo shoot. Hey, you've just moved somebody. You've just moved somebody from their comfort zone. I guess it's time to be Tamara said she's going to book a photo shoot. Ah, this is amazing. It's amazing when you step out of your zone, you impact people's lives and you touch their lives. Now, some people may be in pain right now. They may be in pain. They can't move. They're in pain. And you've done something some years ago called Pain to Power. Just talk a bit about that.
Okay. Well, my book, From Pain to Power, and here it is because Alex told me to bring it along. It's Alex that told me to bring it along. Okay. Shameless promotion. So my book, From Pain to Power. Okay. It's a book that I actually wrote after the death of my dad. And it was very untimely. Didn't expect him to go when he did. And it made me realize that this gift I've been sitting on, I can no longer hold it. It has to go out into the world now. I don't have tomorrow like I thought I did. And none of us have tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The only space that exists is the now moment, right now. That's all that counts is how you treat your loved ones right now. Are you saying I love you right now? Are you speaking your message right now? Are you selling your product right now? The only moment that counts is now. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us, not in this world, okay? It's not promised to any of us. So I literally, after I lost my loved one, took my pain. And that wasn't the only pain that I was dealing with at the time. I was dealing with a lot of struggles that are in this book that I wrote about, the things that I was going through at the time. I took that pain and I literally took my feet and I stood on it and I made it my footstool. So one of the best ways to turn challenging times into your power is to start to speak out, start to do the opposite on a daily basis of some of the negative emotions that you're feeling. And that's something that I still do. And this book will help you to be able to do that. So sometimes I may be feeling, I may go through a period, especially right now with the pandemic and a lot of things that we're going through and elections and just a lot of things, I've had times where I've been in an extended funk. I'm not used to living like this. I'm used to traveling and doing different things. And I will take that and I may go live and I may really speak to my audience or people who are connected with me. I will take what I'm going through and I will turn that into helping other people. And that's what helps you to flow into your superpower. So where you are shy, where you are hiding, where you may have been abused, where you may have had some things in your past that you're burying, when you take that you went through and you start to speak out about it in a way that will help someone else to overcome, you're unstoppable. Healing is on the way. Matter of fact, you're in your healing when you do that. So that's sort of like the place that the book is coming from, taking painful situations and learning how to become more powerful from your experiences. And as I wrote this book, I was literally writing my way out of grief, out of hurt, out of pain, out of some things. And I was burying I didn't just lose my dad, but I lost other things in my life that I was grieving. But I used that and I turned that and I put that in a book that could reach the world. And that was where this book came from and where that message came from.
Wow. You can turn your pain into power. You can stand up on your pain and do the opposite and speak into your power. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in today and tuning into the Message Talk Show. We've had a credible evening talking about you driving your business forward, your marketing, your mindset, being consistent, finding clarity in your life, doing so much, finding your superpower, finding the gift that you've got, working on that gift. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you uneasy. But if you step into it, your superpower will come forward. You will start to attract the right clients. You'll start to attract the right people, and people won't run from you anymore because you are in your zone. But you've got to do the work. Coach Dallas Gordon says there is no other way. You've got to put in the work in the beginning. And if it takes you a long time in the beginning, let it, whatever it takes you, because there's a point in your life when the physical becomes less and the spirit becomes more. Your intuition steps in. The connections are happening, and you start to download more. And when you download, you're able to do what you came to do. Man, I just thank you for being on the show today. This is amazing.
Thanks for having me. It's been amazing. You're right. I enjoyed everything. Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, I deliberately put a link in here today because I said, from some of the videos that I've been listening to, and for some of the insights you've been giving on your membership site, I think everybody needs to connect with that. Everybody needs to connect with that. Just to hear, you know, just to hear, because you said you didn't like doing videos, and imagine if you never did the videos. Imagine if you never did the videos.
That part. Right.
Imagine, yeah. I sit down and I listen to your videos. I'm thinking, wow, this is the tune. I'm taking up my notepad and going, I must grab this one, you know. So I've just put up a link there, a bit.ly link, bit.ly/profit for digital freedom, and that's what Coach Dallas Gordon is doing. She is helping you find freedom, digital freedom, taking your potential and making something out of it and sharing it with the rest of the world to step into your superpower. So grab that link, guys. Write that link down and go there and just consume and then do, consume and then do, because if you don't consume, you won't have the knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge, you can't do. But you have to do when you get the knowledge, because sometimes people get paralyzed with too much information. Paralyzed with too much information. Guys, I've come to the end of the Message Talk Show, and I must say it's been a great evening. I've enjoyed this, and I could go for another hour, but I'm sure Coach Dallas Gordon has got a busy schedule. So we're just saying thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, and come again on a Wednesday night. We'll be having another guest. Tune in tomorrow morning on the Message Talk Show at 11 o'clock. And I'm saying good night to you all, but I'm saying to you, when you sit down, get the replay and just re-listen to what's been said tonight. This is life-changing. This is not only changing you, it's changing the next generation and the next generation after. There's a constant chain reaction happening. And it's happening because you're listening to the Message Talk Show with Coach Dallas Gordon. Thank you, guys. Say good night, Coach Dallas Gordon. Say good night.
Thank you.
Don't disappear. Miss the show. You got to be on the show.